Not all castles are cloaked in fairy tales, some hide legends of fear and fury. Could one of these fortresses have belonged to Vlad Dracula himself? We often hear about Transylvania, castles, and Vlad the Impaler, but his real story, his true stronghold, might surprise you. To unravel this mystery, we must go beyond myth and take a journey through 3 key locations that tell the story of the man behind the legend, Vlad III, or Vlad the Impaler, and the castles that marked his life and legacy. Today, we'll explore Poenari Castle, Bran Castle, and the Curtea de Arges Monastery, uncovering how these sites shaped his reign and ignited a legacy that would haunt the world for centuries. Poenari Castle, Vlad's true fortress. First, we head to the fortress that's arguably his true castle, Poenari Castle, nestled high on a cliff in the Carpathian Mountains of Wallachia, far from Transylvania. This is no tourist's fairytale castle. It's a fortress perched so high that only the boldest of souls dare to reach it. Built on a steep cliffside above the Arges River, this castle served not only as a strategic lookout but as a demonstration of Vlad's absolute strength. Originally built by the rulers of Wallachia in the 13th century, Poenari was nearly abandoned until Vlad saw its value. Determined to reinforce his territory, he ordered hundreds of captured nobles and their families to strengthen the fortress under extreme conditions. The legends claim that Vlad, showing no mercy, forced these nobles to toil day and night in the harsh mountain terrain. Many died from exhaustion and the brutal climate, and for those who survived, there was no escape. Poenari became a symbol of Vlad's unyielding rule and his intolerance of betrayal, showcasing his unmatched tactical mind and his unflinching willingness to sacrifice even his own men to secure his land. Strategically positioned and nearly unreachable, Poenari gave Vlad an edge against the Ottomans who often ventured into Wallachia. Vlad would use this isolated stronghold as a vantage point, orchestrating ambushes and deadly traps for invaders, striking terror into any who dared to challenge him. From this fortress, he could also make his iconic attacks using Forest of the Impaled tactics, sending a visceral message to his enemies about the cost of invasion. Today, Poenari stands in ruins, but its haunting location and the treacherous journey to reach it still echo with the spirit of Vlad's reign. To ascend to the castle, you must climb 1,480 steep steps, a fitting tribute to the relentless ambition of the man who once commanded it. Bran Castle, the mythical connection. Now, let's shift to Bran Castle, one of the most famous and picturesque castles in Romania. Located on the border between Transylvania and Wallachia, Bran is a place of beauty, mystery, and of course, legend. Often hailed as Dracula's castle, Bran is what many imagine when they think of Dracula, a castle looming over misty cliffs with Gothic towers piercing the clouds. But here's the truth that history lovers rarely hear: while Bran Castle is widely marketed as Dracula's home, there's little to no historical evidence that Vlad ever stayed here. So, why is it called Dracula's Castle? Bran Castle's connection to Vlad is rooted more in legend and Bram Stoker's fictionalized Dracula than in historical fact. Stoker's novel wasn't written with Bran Castle in mind specifically, but the castle's imposing structure and location matched readers' imaginations perfectly. By the 20th century, Bran's link to the vampire myth took hold, transforming it into a Gothic symbol of Dracula's dark legacy. Despite its tenuous connection to the real Vlad, Bran Castle still holds an allure because it represents the power of Vlad's story, and how the idea of Dracula has eclipsed the man himself. Inside Bran, winding staircases lead to hidden rooms and narrow corridors, adding to its atmosphere of mystery. And while Vlad may not have walked these halls, Bran Castle is a testament to how myth and legend can often shape the way history is remembered, giving it a place in our story. Curtea de Arges Monastery, the spiritual legacy. Finally, there is one more site that holds deep significance to Vlad's life and legacy: the Curtea de Arges Monastery. Located in the same region as Poenari, this historic church represents the spiritual heart of Wallachia and is tied to Vlad's family lineage. Founded by his grandfather, Mucha the Elder, the monastery was a site of royal burials, a tradition that Vlad continued with his own family. Though brutal in his tactics, Vlad was deeply religious and devoted to defending Orthodox Christianity against the Ottomans. The Curtea de Arges monastery became a sanctuary of faith and strength for the ruling families of Wallachia, a place where battles were fought not only with swords but with prayers and blessings. This site provides a glimpse into Vlad's more complex nature, a ruthless leader, yes, but also a deeply spiritual one committed to preserving his kingdom and his faith. The architecture of the monastery reflects the region's resilience, blending Byzantine and Romanian styles in a show of cultural strength. Legend has it that Vlad himself might have sought solace here, gathering his resolve and contemplating the harsh decisions he'd made in defense of Wallachia. Today, Curtea de Arges stands as a tribute to the historical and spiritual power that Vlad wielded, a power that was as rooted in faith as it was in fear. Conclusion. From the unforgiving cliffs of Poenari, where Vlad's enemies would learn the true meaning of fear, to the mysterious halls of Bran, immortalized by legend, to the sacred grounds of Curtea de Arges, where his legacy lives on. These castles tell the story of a man who was far more than just a mythical monster. Vlad Dracula was a warrior, a strategist, and a defender of his land, driven by forces greater than mere bloodlust. And as we stand in the shadow of these fortresses today, we're reminded of the power of one man's will, a power that would transcend history and myth alike. The real Dracula may not have been a vampire, but his castles, his legacy, and his story have secured him a place in history more enduring than any legend. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until next time.